Peace with the Past, Part 2. When the evil of the past clings to us, often we refuse to let go of the difficulty. Then it remains captive in our memory. The memory becomes trapped in a continuous spinning wheel. Our memory recalls the bad experience, and the memory of evil puts it back into memory, and so on. It's necessary to deal with it. Otherwise, without our knowledge, the bad of the past finds room to stay. It monopolizes our precious time. Injuries, bad memories, disappointments experienced in the past are often at our heels. They tie us to the past. This can become like the daily program or song that constantly replays in loops in our head. You know, this movie scene or song that doesn't stop playing in our head, that even starts to overwhelm us sometimes. People will talk about their illness, often in due reason. After all, when we are ill and sick, we are ill and sick. It's okay to talk about it. Of these people, some constantly talk about them, and that keeps their mind focused on the problem. So the memory continually suggests to the body the same disease according to what it learns. It's not surprising that a person might fail to improve in health. What we say to our memory reminds it to us. If we tell a person to stop smoking, what will happen? He'll continue smoking. Memory learns what we repeat to it. Placing our trust in God gives the hope needed to cut what can bind us and then thrive in reality that's now offered. Let's keep the good memories and give to Jesus the bad ones, even our more or less serious problems. Jesus helps to transform them in truth and in reality. Some people that believe that leaving the past means we have to leave everything behind. It's as if it seems necessary to place a solid wall between us and the past. To leave the past or let go are expressions, which means to release ourselves from evil of the past, but not everything that has been in the past. Also, they should not be understood as any carelessness. For it's important to keep the good memories that have helped us to build our life, our reality, our personality to this day, although sometimes it might seem negative in itself. A reflection and a discerning time becomes necessary and vital to sort between the useful and the useless that we have experienced so far. Let's take the example of a book lying on a bookshelf. For many years, it's accumulated dust. There's so much dust that it's impossible to read the title. We take the book gently in our hands to retain the dust. We carry it to the basket and blow on it. Little dust will be removed. Because the dust is a little rebellious, we remove it with one hand while holding the book solidly in the other hand. Then in the kitchen, a dry cloth helps to further remove dust and dirt. After we brush a little more the tenacious encrusted dirt, we dampen a cloth to clean it more. The book is then replaced on the tablet because other tasks await us. So we remove the dirt, but we keep the book. The next day or several days later, it's time to replace it in the library in alphabetical order for it to be regrouped with all the other books, some of which were used to train our knowledge and consciousness. By taking the book in hand, the title appears, The Story of Our Life. It raises the interest to read this story of our life, but with some apprehension. Should I read it? Is it a waste of time? We clean the outside of the book as we clean our body, but within our life also requires cleaning and to be read in the light, like a book. At first, maybe the reading comprehension will be awkward, and many paragraphs will be difficult to read. We sometimes need to read and read again. We read the book and some emotions rise to the surface. Resentments, worries, situations forgotten intermixed with positive elements over the years. For example, parties, celebrations. People can also go through our mind. Our interior is read whenever emotions are declared present. Block them? No. Let's go on. Every sentence that surfaces allow us to analyze it and over time better understand what we live. Let's give every emotion back to Jesus. Why give them to Jesus? Because it will help us clean, especially when we're uncertain of what to keep or reject. Jesus is the Master who will eliminate for us evil and leave us what is good. At first, it may seem pure speculation, but practice will reveal the benefits and our health will get better. Our real interior will emerge and flourish. Sometimes we find simple ways to free ourselves from certain evils. But the evil that follows us and that continues to make our life miserable could lead us to despair. So the root of every sneaky disease that remains at the depth of our being is not freed completely by ourselves, despite the efforts and means, more or less ingenious and laborious, we may try. This step must be lived with others. Sometimes we need help from people or even meet up with a spiritual conscience director and possibly also a psychologist. Stirring emotions inside can generate memories locked up that were deeply buried. Or they can also explode if they are welcomed, like a flower blooms in the spring. But if it seems impossible to accommodate, we could lose our peace. Let's make sure that Jesus sustains us in this exercise, always. We drive the car to the garage regularly, but rarely do we perform maintenance on our soul. Our book of life, after a sincere cleanup, will allow us to rediscover all the beauty that God has placed in us. Let's earn time by praying with Jesus at adoration, and let Jesus check and verify our interior and help us purify it.